Salutations, spooks, spirits, and specters, and welcome back to Corpse Party, Book of Shadows, as we continue Chapter 6. My struggle to get out the words came to an abrupt end as Kizami's hand pressed down hard on my face, covering my nose and mouth and suffocating me. For all the pain and fear I was feeling, I knew I had a chance to fight back. So I opened my mouth and I bit down hard on his palm. I must have bitten even harder than I thought. I could taste his blood. It was warm and minerally and slid down my parched throat, easing a little bit of the pain and dryness. I just kept shouting. I didn't care if these were the last words I ever said. I had no regrets. I just wanted to cry out.
来ねえ兄貴なんか来ねえ
It all happened in an instant. Kizami just grabbed his head in both hands and let out a cry of pain that didn't even sound human.
なんだこれは。何なんだよこの声は。俺は妹が欲しかったのか。俺は妹が欲しかったんだ。俺より弱い存在、そうだ、俺を必要とする存在、妹という存在を本当に欲していたのか。そうだ、妹がいれば俺は変われた。痛い、頭が。
He grabbed his head again and began stumbling around. He looked like he was in real pain. There were even tears in his eyes.
くそ何を気づかせたい。今さら俺に理由などいらない。ここに来てからの俺は俺だけのために全てを踏みつけてきた。それは誇りですらある。
大丈夫ですか？頭痛いの。ユカのポケットに頭痛のお薬が入ってます。出して飲んでいいです。
I have been waiting for this moment for so long.
なんでこうなったんだ。
It was inevitable.
妹がいれば俺も兄貴みたいになれたんだ。そうだ、なれたはずだった。弟のために泣くようなバカ兄みたいに。
ゾミさん。
He fell to his knees and just stayed like that, not moving, maybe not even breathing. After another unnerving yell, the huge man with the hammer just stood there, staring at me. He had blood splattered all over him. Somehow, though, I got the impression he wasn't going to attack me.
助けてくれたの？
He reached one hand toward me, slowly and gently. Though it may have been a little too slowly, he moved like a zombie, as if I were watching a TV show in slow motion.
どうしたの？
It almost seemed like he was afraid of me. But I was just a little girl tied to a table. What could he possibly think I'd do to him?
他に誰かいるの？
He didn't answer. I wasn't even sure he'd heard the question. He wasn't looking at me. He was looking past me.
教えて、何があるの？殺しなさい。
His mournful yell echoed throughout the room. My arms and legs suddenly went slack. I felt like I could move them now. Slowly, I opened my eyes and confirmed that this enormous man had just smashed apart the dry knots that were holding my hands and feet in place. I knew I didn't have much time. I tried my hardest to wake up my sleeping hands and feet and shake the broken, splintered ropes from my wrists and ankles.
殺せ。
I don't know. Consider other options? My arms and legs were still so numb that I couldn't thrust myself to get out of the room safely. I had to think of something else. I had to buy some time. It seemed like the little girl was pulling the huge man's strings, and he didn't really want to hurt me. So maybe I could reason with him.
何をしている？殺せ。
どうしたの？
He suddenly doubled over and began clawing at his throat, seemingly in a great deal of pain. Reasoning with him really wasn't going to work. He was too unstable, and if it came down to me or the little girl, I was pretty sure I would not win.
今なら逃げられるかも。
What's that? It's a decayed skeletal corpse. There's nothing about its outward appearance that gives any clear indication of age or gender. However, there's a student ID name tag partially lodged in its ribcage that indicates it probably belonged to a junior high school girl. Takane Municipal Middle School, I, Honda. What's this? There's a bottle on the ground filled with a transparent liquid. Take it.
何が入ってるんだろう。水じゃないよね。
いつまでそうしているつもりだ。殺せ。
Use hydrochloric acid? Instinctively, I threw the glass bottle at the huge man with that hammer. It seems to be super effective. He flinched and stumbled backwards. His hammer was still raised, however, and smashed into one of the light bulbs on the ceiling, shattering it.
暗い。でも今なら逃げられるかも。
The feeling had begun returning to my legs, so I wasted no time. Habitually yelling, "Excuse me," as I left, I darted through the dark lab, using what I remembered of its layout to avoid obstacles and reach the door.
お前わざとか？このクズ、二度とご褒美してやらないぞ。早く追いかけろ。あの小娘何度目だ？お守りの切れ端を持っているのか。運命が定着していない。
どこか隠れられるところを探さなきゃ。
I could hear the sounds of someone else running just a short distance in front of me. I couldn't make out who it was with any certainty, but I did briefly catch a glimpse of a figure retreating into the darkness, and it looked like...
お兄ちゃん。今のお兄ちゃんだったよね。
I took off in pursuit. If that was Big Brother, then I just had to catch up to him.
お兄ちゃん
He mustn't have heard me. His pace never slowed, and I saw him disappear around a corner.
行っちゃった。早く追いかけなきゃ。お兄ちゃん、お兄ちゃん。
What are my options? That's good to know. Okay. Step by step.
お兄ちゃん、どこ行っちゃったのかな。静かすぎる。こっちじゃないみたい。やっぱりさっきの場所でお兄ちゃんを探してみよう。
Okay, sounds reasonable. That sounds like a logical reason why not to go up there. It doesn't sound like he went that way. We are not going back in the lab. Anything in the nurse office?
保健室。ここにはいないよね。ここじゃ見つかっちゃう。早く逃げなきゃ。
There's a large hole in the floor here. The floor may be unstable throughout this whole room. Best to tread lightly. Old medicine bottles have been haphazardly packed onto these shelves. Their caps are all either loose or missing, and their contents long since evaporated or imbibed. Old medicine bottles have neatly lined on these shelves. They all seem to be made of brown glass, and virtually every one of them is noticeably cracked, clearly indicating its age. Anything back this way? How about this classroom?
なんか寒くなってきたな。
Anything? There's no taking it back. There's no going back. There's no... The paper is torn at this point, cutting off the rest of the sentence. It's a wooden shelving unit with a glass door. It doesn't seem to be locked. Unfortunately, there's nothing useful inside. Now's no time to search shelves anyway. I have to find my big brother.
やっぱり開かないみたい。もっと力が強ければ開くのかな。お兄ちゃん、どこ行っちゃったの？
I suppose pointless searching is the reason why darkening is happening.
ここにもいないよね。お兄ちゃん？ここじゃ見つかっちゃう。
Alright. Anything this way?
お兄ちゃん、どこ行っちゃったのかな。静かすぎる。こっちじゃないみたい。やっぱりさっきの場所でお兄ちゃんを探してみよう。
Anything here?
お兄ちゃん、お兄ちゃんいる。ゆかだよ。いるなら出てきて。ここにもいない。隠れられる場所もなさそうだし。この床、 今にも抜けそう。怖いよ。お兄ちゃん、どこ行っちゃったんだろう。
Anything? I get the impression, do not waste time looking at anything, except maybe corpses that have ID tags?
ここにはいないよね。
Nothing. Nothing. How about this room?
ユカだよ。いるなら出てきて。
Nothing on the floor, nothing, nothing at all. Moving on. Nothing. Downstairs. Nothing. Suddenly, my field of vision started going topsy-turvy. Was I falling? It was an earthquake, but there was more than just that. The floor beneath me was moving up and down in time with the quake's left and right motion.
お兄ちゃん、お兄ちゃん。
I tried putting one hand on the floor for balance and getting back to my feet.
早くお兄ちゃんを追いかけなきゃいけないのに、完全に見失っちゃう。
I thought I'd done it. I was standing now and had started getting used to the vibrations. As long as I hugged the walls, I could walk. But that all quite literally came crashing down around me soon enough. The wildly shaking floor cracked and crumbled, and I was free falling. I raised my head and found myself lying on top of a pile of rubble. I wasn't too much worse for the wear, though, all things considered.
ここ、どこ？
I looked all around me frantically, but saw nothing, even remotely familiar. This was definitely someplace new. And it didn't feel much like a school anymore. The walls and floor were made from packed dirt, with only railroad ties keeping it all together.
なんか、カビ臭い。
I knew I was underground. I had to be. It just felt that way. There were no windows anywhere, and based on the smell, there was no ventilation either.
なんか、息苦しいな。そうだ、お兄ちゃん。
Big Brother might have gotten caught off guard by that earthquake too, I thought. He could be down here. It was a big one, after all. Maybe he was injured. Maybe he couldn't move.
早く探さなきゃ。
I tried pushing myself up from the pile of rubble, ready to shoot my feet and continue the search. That didn't last long, however. My hands and feet were still a little numb from the ropes, making it hard to keep my balance. I fell back onto my butt. My underwear was completely waterlogged, like a full sponge. It squished unpleasantly on the debris, sending a cold chill through my entire body.
何これ。
I reached down and felt it, and it was absolutely soaked through. It would take forever for it to dry.
そうだ。私、おもらししちゃってたんだ。
I was so wrapped up in running for my life and chasing after Big Brother, I didn't even notice the wetness. But now I couldn't get it out of my mind.
気持ち悪いよ。
Tears were welling up in my eyes. How could I be so pathetic? I forced myself to my feet, doing my best to try ignoring the squishy sensation. I wouldn't be able to ignore it for long, though. My panties were noticeably heavier now, and the urine they absorbed was practically ice cold. I couldn't go on like this. I was going to get a rash, or catch pneumonia, or something, and every step was going to be its own form of mushy-gushy hell. But what could I do? I could take them off, but then what? Carry them with me? Ew! Leave them on the floor for someone else to find? Ew, no thanks.
お兄ちゃん。お兄ちゃん。
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. So thank you all very much for watching. And ciao for now. Ciao for now.